Hello guys, and welcome to a new Still Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I'm once again joined by Val.
At it for the third time. You might just get used to me.
Crazy stuff. Today, before we move on with the game, I'd like to talk about the 5th Asia Pacific tournament. Chickendew got in touch with me about it and would like me to let you know about it. And if you guys are interested in signing up, then there will be a sign up link in the description. And that will also give you some details on what it's going to be like and what some of the rules are. So yeah, make sure you go check that out if you're interested in getting involved in these tournaments or just competitive play in general. But with that out the way, let's focus on this one. We have Odon River, and we see Chickendew versus Corbeau, which is actually quite convenient with Chickendew telling me about the 5th Asia Pacific tournament. But he's going to be playing the 15th Infantry Scots, and Corbeau is going to be playing the 3rd Fallschirmjäger. So what are you thinking moving into this one, Val?
This is a really good map for the Fallschirmjäger. I think the way the river is set up with the sort of forest lines on either side means that there's kind of really super high-end infantry can have full effect here. But here's against the Scots. Like, this deck is probably one of the best decks at just grinding people down.
Yeah, so 3rd Fallschirmjäger, yeah, with those Fallschirmjägers, they can definitely push across these rivers very effectively, and there isn't really much in terms of infantry that can stop those Fallschirmjägers on the side of the 15th Infantry Scots, not infantry on infantry anyway. Chickendew is really going to have to rely on things like Humbers and just other sort of light vehicles that can kind of cover off those middle sections. So a good example would be the MMG carriers that he's bringing in APT. But one of the major discrepancies here, I think, is that the AVRE could be extremely powerful in this matchup if Corbeau's not too careful about it.
I think there is definitely a risk. Like, if we look down kind of at this bottom side where you see the AVRE sort of poising to go towards, you've got this sort of bend in the road by the bridge, but there's quite a bit of forest cover on the other side and the town on the other side of that. I feel like an area like this is one of the few places where kind of Corbeau can push past the tree line by the river and get into some really nice sort of good terrain.
Yeah, so I think honestly you're on something there with the AVRE positioning, like going to the bottom. That sort of loop is not really ideal actually for the AVRE. He could definitely get punished by that tree line. Whereas if it was, say, further up the double bridge in the sort of mid top side, if you were pushing across that, when you push through the first bridge from the side of Chickendew, you sort of have this more open area which kind of prevents you from being hit by, say, Panzerfaust from Fallschirmjäger units. There is obviously Panzerschrecks which do have the extended range, and there will be, of course, things like Puptions that you might have to worry about as well. But we'll have to see if they're used, because I think previously we've seen, like Corbeau, I think he's L6 rushed before, which is something that Chickendew might have to be concerned about, because if that happens where the AVRE is not, then you know he's going to be in trouble. And the other thing is like HS129 early, that could definitely sting if it kills the AVRE. But let's have a quick look at units going down. So on the top side, it's going to be Fallschirmjäger's Fallschirmführer. He has the Pack 37, I think it is, following up, and then he's got the L6 behind that. Further down, it's going to be 2 units of Fallschirmjägers and a Recon, and on the bottom side, it's L6 Fallschirmjäger Command and another Pack 36. I think that's the Gerlich. Actually, that'd be Pack 41 Gerlich, sorry. Anyway, on the side of Chickendew, on the top side, it's 2 rifles, Command Infantry, and Piet with the MMG carrier. Further down, he's got the 6-pounder and rifles. For the mid, it's rifles and Vickers HMG. And then on the bottom side, that's where he's concentrating with this AVRE. And it's mainly going to come down to the use of these rifles to reveal things in this tree line. And you can see the Puption there, which could definitely be used to take out the AVRE early on if Chickendew is not too careful. So we're going to have to keep an eye on those engagements.
That is one of the things about this map, is that, you know, the range of the Puption is this big downside, but with all the sort of twists and turns in the roads and the rivers and the tree lines, it's quite rare to get. I mean, this AVRE is probably getting quite a good sort of view from where it is now, but you know, it's not that easy to get a good view with these armoured vehicles.
This is what I'd like to see out of Chickendew right now is like a fire position into this tree line. That would be ideal, and it's exactly what he's going to do. and that's going to come right down on top of this Puption actually. Going to take it down to 1 health. Really nice hit there. Probably going to try and maybe go for a second shot would be really nice. But the MMG carrier going down to the L6 there does manage to find line of sight onto that. L6 could still be dangerous against an AVRE if it finds like close range side shot or something. So Chickendew's still going to have to work around that. But with some good fire position commanding from that tank, he could make a lot of ground here. One thing I'm kind of worried about though is these 2 rifles that he's got a little bit further up. I'd like to see those assisting the AVRE, even if he started to cede some ground in the mid to the Fallschirmjägers early on.
Yeah, I mean, we saw on this bottom side though, those Fallschirmjägers are absolutely deadly at the right range. Let's have a quick look at this top side, because we're just on the edge of getting some action here, I think. We have 1 Fallschirmjäger squad ripping apart these rifles, but that's not going to last too long once the honey stew gets involved. It's this top forest that I'm more interested in.
Yeah, so we have the Fallschirmjäger and the Fallschirmführer pushing through. They might find themselves close enough to take out the command carrier. Yep, they will. The Fallschirmführer are going to be getting a grenade on target. Very nice throw there. Puption's also sneaking up as well, and if the Fallschirmführer gets back into cover with the Fallschirmjäger, then the Puption might be able to do some damage, but the Fallschirmführer got wiped out there by the high HE of the MMG carrier. Those things can be very lethal indeed. And that's definitely what we saw there, but same on the bottom side for Chickendew's command infantry, as that did go down as well previously. But L6 here definitely damaging up the rifles. AVRE is going to try and take out this L6, but is going to struggle to do so with the full front armor. I think it's just armored enough that the AVRE won't be able to kill it, but we can see that the Puption did get the kill on the top side, managed to just get in range to get that shot off, and that's going to allow Corbeau to come on through with his L6. Not that that would have really prevented him from doing so anyway, but does allow the Fallschirmjägers to maybe move forwards even further as he does find a salient on that top side.
I am just really impressed with Corbeau's micro down this bottom side. He's been waiting for the AVRE to target the L6. He's been letting it start acquiring target, and then just before it fires, he's been moving. Of the ultimate troll, really. Although I think it might have run out of luck here.
Yeah, the AVRE might fire.
Oh no, he's moving.
Yeah, the trouble is Chickendew, he doesn't want to allow this L6 to get too close. He's also worried about this Panzerschreck, which he did see move close to him. The shooter has been knocked out. He's really just got to reverse that as quickly as possible, but strength is not on the side, or not strength, speed is not on the side of the AVRE, and the Panzerschreck is going to find the kill there. Very nice indeed. Now the L6 has a clean shot onto all of these rifles. Oh, it's going to be a massacre. One goes down. The second and third are going to be destroyed on this road if the L6 can decide what it wants to shoot at. Oh, look at the... Oh, it's just disgusting. So many men are dying.
that may have just cost Chickendew maybe this game. That was really unfortunate for him.
Oh.
The AVRE was the one thing keeping him in this bottom side, and he's not having any great success in the top side either, so this is looking... Actually, I say that, the Piet might... Wait, Piet? Oh, he got a shooter wounded.
Yeah, oh, that's it's a real shame, these Piets. I mean, they're unreliable at the best of times, but they're just kind of letting Chickendew down by not finding the kill, because that L6 will be able to recover and come back without any sort of downside, really. It didn't get like damaged in any way, no track damage or anything, which is going to make it slower. But yeah, that Panzerschreck finding the kill onto AVRE is just huge. The only real recovery now is sort of like Chickendew playing sort of quite defensively, and then maybe trying to rely on Churchill 7s. That would be the main way to sort of come back in phase B. So I kind of like to see if that becomes the case, because it's something that he might be able to rely on. Now here in the mid, we can see the Fallschirmjäger is pushing very aggressively, but if this other rifle unit gets involved at close range, honestly the rifles have 8 HE versus the 6 HE of Fallschirmjägers at that range. So the Fallschirmjägers will lose out, and in this case with the Vickers HMG support, that Fallschirmjäger is being dealt with. So nice job there by Chickendew to stop that push coming through.
Yep, Corbeau gets a little bit too overeager with that Fallschirmjäger unit, and I mean, you've got to respect that it's quite a big investment really here from Chickendew, and I think Corbeau probably saw a little bit of that, so yeah, maybe a little bit too aggressive there.
Well, he's got this honey now, and Churchill 5 coming to the bottom side. Since the AVRE didn't have much success, it doesn't really make sense in my eyes that you should bring at least the Churchill 5 down here. Like, I understand the Honey because it works relatively well at closer ranges and still has the HE to pack a punch on its 30 cals. But the Churchill 5 I think would be better off on this top side where he can play around with the range a lot more and definitely support against what is quite an open flank at the moment with his rifles taking a lot of damage there. The Piet's going to try and get a second shot and he's not going to find the kill again.
This is a massacre though up in this top forest. This is a lot of points about to go for no return here.
The Piet missed the second time. And all of these rifles and command leader went down. The Fallschirmjäger found the ideal range engagements here where they could use their FG42, they could use their Gewehr 43 and the MG 40 or 34 and just like rip to shreds those squads, and just the superiority of those Fallschirmjägers really just coming into full effect there. Absolutely fantastic stuff from Corbeau.
I mean, just have a look on the mini-map to see kind of just how unfortunate position Chickendew's found himself in. His top side is a non-starter at the moment. His bottom side isn't doing much better, unfortunately. I think this has really been a case of just fantastic sort of unit trading from Corbeau, really.
Yeah, so we
Very good
can see a HS-129 on its way, and there's also going to be accompanied by an MU-109 G6R6, which is going to make it very hard for any 15th Infantry Spitfires to get involved, and that HS-129 is pretty much free firing now onto this Honey. You can see that Corbeau there is going to be turning off the main gun and turning it on as he gets close, so he gets a much higher penetration chance and good accuracy without wasting too many shots. And that is going to secure him the shot onto the Honey. We'll have to see if he does it onto the Churchill 5. Yeah, you see again he deactivates the main gun, and as he gets close he's going to turn it back on, and he's going to be finding the spoiler shooter wounded. Didn't quite find the kill. But he is going to have chance, I think, to go for a third run since the ME-109 G6R6 does have him covered. And this Aufklärer in the tree line there, just on the other side of the river, is providing that information for him to find plenty of shots. So even when these units are coming in, Corbeau's found a way to deal with them.
This really is kind of the mark of a real quality player, someone who can handle this sort of intricate like weapons micro sort of stuff is really valuable. He's even decided to try and come in from a different angle here, and he gets the engine.
Oh yeah, nice one indeed. Yeah, coming in from the side will definitely give him a much better chance, and now with that engine destroyed, the L6 is going to be looking to take advantage of that, fast moving down the road. So not only is he microing his air well, but he's also bringing in the ground support to take advantage of that. And again, like you said, it just shows how good a player Corbeau really is, and it's just going to be able to drive up to the back of this Churchill and just destroy it very easily indeed.
Yeah, this is really unfortunate for Chickendew, because I mean the top side I feel was always a bit fated to sort of lose. He didn't really have the stuff matched up in a good position. I don't think he had the fire support he needed, but in this bottom side he had also all the elements to really take the fight to Corbeau, but unfortunately that Panzerschreck really ruined his day.
Oh, and on the top side now, the Pupchen is in range to take on the Honey and is going to take it out. Oh, it's just absolutely brutal, and the Fallschirmjäger is still running down more rifles. Like, the rifle Fallschirmjäger disparity is shown so much throughout this game. But regardless of that, just like the use of the Pupchen and the Panzer L6 has just been crazy. Like, when Steel Division came out, I really wasn't a massive fan of the Pupchen, but seeing plays like this really makes you want to have them in your division, as they do seem to help out quite a bit, apparently.
I think especially on a map like this where you've got quite a few of these sort of short tree line jumps, shall we say?
Yeah.
The Pupchen really does increase in value. This isn't one of those maps where you've got to worry about a lot of very open sight lines. I mean, at least not in the kind of the main initial combat areas. But this is just looking at the map and seeing kind of all of these different units being microed all at the same time. This is the mark of someone who is very good at Steel Division.
Yeah, so you can see if we highlight the shift commands of all of these, you can see that most of them have attack move orders at pretty much like all the time. One thing that is really bad for Chickendew now, though, It's like normally you'd say as long as it sits around the 1,000 point mark, there is a chance for a comeback. But at this point, with Fallschirmjägers entrenched in these towns on Chickendew's side of the river, it's gonna be just such hard work to dislodge those, especially if Corbeau's even going to go as far as to return fire micro his infantry so they don't reveal themselves at range, and maybe find Panzerfaust like ambushes onto, for example, this crocodile.
Well, this crocodile's just defanged though. Like it can't even move forward.
Yeah, it can't do anything. And Fallschirmjägers did kill off the carrier in the mid that was kind of helping out there, but now Fallschirmjäger's getting involved with the Vickers HMG, and you can just see that the amount of suppression that comes down there so damn fast. And it's just going to be able to take out multiple squads here.
It really is.
Might get overwhelmed at close range. Maybe find a bit of a surrender there on the side of Chickendew. Yeah, now the L6 is going to be engaging the MMG carrier on the bottom side. The Honey is not getting involved because it's kind of blocked in line of sight, unfortunately. But Corbeau's probably going to micro that very well. Yeah, he's getting that back into cover. And now we've got the ME109 G6R6 coming in with the HS129 again. And that's a new HS129, this time a 1-star one, so it's even more accurate than it was before. And I think we can say goodbye to the Honey. Internal fragments will do the job. L6 now has pretty much a free chance to kill that, as it has no ammunition left. ME109 G6R6 is going to cover the HS129 as the Spitfire comes in. And Chickendew is going to surrender, giving Corbeau the victory after 13 minutes and 12 seconds. What do you have to say about that, Val?
That was incredibly brutal. It was one of those games where kind of strategy didn't really matter from Corbeau here, because his microplay was so good and so much, stronger than Chickendew's. And it is one of those things where if you can micro well enough against a player who cannot really match you on that, really can win games even if it doesn't matter what you do. That's not to say his macro was bad. His macro was great as well, but that really kind of that's the one thing that leaped out to me, was everything he did was like Korean StarCraft level. He was just always moving everything. It's like he's got 3 monitors. He's watching, he's got his movement speed chart up on the other side. Yeah, just really well played.
Yeah, got an APM monitor there. Yeah, indeed. But in the end, 1,085 kills to 230 losses for Corbeau. Chickendew obviously vice versa. Crazy stuff. I think, honestly, if it was a more open map, like the 15th Infantry would have rolled the 3rd Fallschirmjäger. But with the way that the sort of bans work, like obviously your division is defined throughout the entire tournament, but the maps are picked and banned instead. And in this case, it must have been that Corbeau got the map pick, because I don't see why the 15th Infantry would pick that map into the 3rd Fallschirmjäger. So Corbeau not only probably picked the map, but played into it extremely well. And like you said at the start, that map was just completely suited to the Fallschirmjäger, and we've seen like other players, like another sort of matchup that this reminds me of is like, I think it was Q2521 versus Eugen, where Q used the 3rd Fallschirmjäger on this map specifically because it was this map in order to really put the pain onto Eugen. And in this case, Corbeau, just showing that prowess with that division, and it really just worked in his favour so damn well.
It really did. It's one of those things. If the game goes on longer, if Chickendew doesn't lose the AVRE, because I think one of the big problems Chickendew had was when his bottom side collapsed that much, he then had to divert resources to 2 fronts, where he was losing on both. If he could have held on the bottom, then he would have been able to have an opportunity to just invest everything in that top side for a bit, and perhaps he could have stabilised that way. And I think you'd agree with me in saying that as time goes on, the 15th Scots does outscale the Fallschirmjäger in terms of just the sort of sheer force you can bring to the battlefield.
So moving into Phase B, I was talking about the Churchill 7s like really playing a massive part, because there isn't really much that the 3rd Fallschirmjäger has to take care of those other than the HS129, but then the 15th can actually invest in quite a significant amount of AA and also bring out quite a few Spitfires. So he would have had the stuff to cover that, but if he wasn't at such a deficit, maybe that would have happened. And because he lost the equivalent 200 points in the bottom side in no time at all, especially with the AVRE going down, and then the 2 rifle squads just getting absolutely melted straight after. That's a huge swing in favor of Corbeau in the early game. Like 200 points in phase A is massive, and is over 2 minutes worth of income. So it sets you back by 2 minutes in comparison to your opponent, and that is not a place you want to be in.
Yeah.
Especially against a strong phase A division, which Corbeau completely just took advantage of.
I think the story of this game is just look in the history tab and scroll down.
Yeah, it's just a lot of kills in favor.
It's a lot of kills.
Yeah, well, if you just go to the kills tab, you can see Chickendew limited kills, and then the losses tab, and then the L6 just wrecking those rifles, getting the rear shot onto the Churchill 5 after it got disabled by the HS-129. The Fallschirmjäger just running through the top side, killing the 6-pounder and 3 rifle squads. These Fallschirmjägers traded so damn well against the rifles because the fire support units that should have been there were taken care of by Corbeau's other units, and that was just really, really well played across the board. So anyway, that's where we're going to leave it. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed it, and make sure you go and check out the 5th Asia Pacific tournament, and if you want to get involved, go and sign up for that. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you next time.
Goodbye.